Alright, how you doing? Mr. DJ, counting down my fantasy playlist September 6, 1986 as we close in on number 1. Slowly but surely up to number 14. Up 4 from number 18, Simply Red. Money's Too Tight to Mention. Kind of a little slap at Reaganomics. The song, now here's the thing about this record. It was originally done by an R&B act called the Valentine Brothers in 1982. They did a funky version of this record too. Billy and John Valentine, but it was not a hit. It went to number 41 on the R&B charts, 1982. Although it was on the R&B charts for about 3 months, over 3 months, about 14 weeks. But the prestigious British music magazine, their website, but back then music magazine, NME, they ranked the Valentine Brothers version of Money's Too Tight at number 6 of the top 10 tracks of 1982. And that's probably when Simply Red got hold of this song and redid it. They had the bigger hit with it too. Went to number 13 in England. The album Picture Book, released in 1985. Not so much here in the States though, just barely made top 30 here in the States. Went to number 28, a paltry 28, which a bit disappointing considering that their first American hit was massive, holding back to years. Another top 10 hit by Simply Red here in the States was their version of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, If You Don't Know Me By Now. Soulful lyrics of Mick Hucknall, lead singer Simply Red, got the disco beat of Money's Too Tight, that disco patter, Money's Too Tight to Mention. Kind of like this record. It's a pretty cool record. Just a kind of a breezy late summer record. Simply Red, boy, I tell you what. I did a little research on the background of this band. They're from Manchester, England. And the genesis, or at least the beginnings of this band, seems like it took place at a Sex Pistols concert. Manchester, England, 1976. In attendance was Mick Hucknall, art student of Manchester, a lover of music, and there were other music lovers at this concert too, including some of the original members of Joy Division, the Buzzcocks, the Smiths, these early new wave bands that would become popular in the late 70s and the 80s, especially in England, but just college radio here in the States, or MTV, or light rotation on night tracks. The early incarnation of Simply Red was a punk band called the Frantic Elevators, and they stayed oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Bottom line is they called themselves the Frantic Elevators for about 6 or 7 years before they became Simply Red. Got a big record deal in 1985 and Picture Book came out. It's off to the races. And they're off to the races on my fantasy playlist at number 14. This song doing a lot better on my fantasy playlist than it did on Billboard's Hot 100. Simply Red, Money's Too Tight to Mention, number 14. Fantasy playlist September 6, 1986.